another half-loaded episode of Get a Load of This. From Silver Creek Studios, I'm Jared.
I'm Ryan.
And we just did a shot of Fireball.
We did.
Once again from our Firebox from Champagne.
Yeah. It's
so good.
It lives on.
It does. And we had it in the freezer or in the fridge. The cups were frosty cold, but they're not. They're still cold, but not frosty cold.
But you know what? The bag, the sack of juice, the sack of nectar is so frosty.
We're gonna have some more, I think, during this episode.
Yeah, so you have to answer the bell in the morning.
I do have to go to work in the morning.
I do too. I got to go pick up the boy at the airport, but I got to
that's not the same.
9.
I feel like you can be hungover at the airport, but you know,
probably will be. You know,
now between episodes, we got a little fired up. Ryan got going there a little bit, not too bad, but
me fired up.
Right? Can you imagine
the
thought? About? But I know here I'm going to get him fired up again, folks.
Oh, Jesus!
Over the weekend, I watched in its entirety, commercial free, formatted for your TV, Creed 2.
What'd you watch this on? Hulu?
Hulu, yep, Hulu. So it was
commercial free.
Commercial free. So this was not live like on TNT or something. Right. This was a like
without commercial interruption
you can watch. Yeah. Exactly. So as anyone who listens to the show knows, you and I are both big Stallone fans and Rocky fans. We love the Rocky franchise.
Well, I think that I don't know if we talked about that on this.
Sure. Okay. Oh yeah.
I think that anybody that knows me personally knows that Rocky is my jam.
Right.
I have a Rocky onesie. I'm not even joking. I do.
An adult size?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll take a picture and
please
we'll
put that on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty epic, and I love Rocky. I love Rambo. I love Stallone. I love.
You haven't seen Copland though, so I kind of lose some credibility.
Well, you're right. There's some shit movies that I've kind of like, I'm not that interested. Yeah. But the staples,
sure.
Right. Yeah, I like Stallone a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I've probably seen parts of Copland, but it's not a.
I also feel like I'm a huge Rocky fan. Anybody that knows me knows that. I feel like I have a lot of street cred in the Rocky community.
The Rocky community.
Yeah.
But there is one.
But Creed and Creed 2, I gotta say, especially Creed 2, I was disappointed because partly I had high expectations.
Yeah.
Because of the tie back to Rocky 4, which is my favorite Rocky movie.
Right.
And, you had Ivan Drago and you had the drama of his son versus Creed's son, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But aside from all that, that was where my expectations were set.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it that much.
So
for many reasons, which we will get into.
So, let's get into that.
Yeah.
So, I think it goes without saying, I loved both Creed movies.
Yep.
I took my oldest son. I think we've watched them both together at the theater. And he knows, and I think he appreciates Rocky as much as I do. It's real close.
Okay.
I think I've created a little bit of a monster as far as Rocky Balboa goes. And he and I have had several arguments about the caliber of movie that he claims that Creed 1 and 2 are better than any of the original 4 Rocky. We'll call 4 Rocky movies. And I know there's a 5 in Rocky Balboa, but so
he would be wrong, but that's okay. He's young.
I agree.
Naive.
I agree. He's wrong, but what I appreciate is that that he holds these two movies
cares enough
to a high standard, and he genuinely believes that they're really good movies.
So like you, my son also said, not that it was better than the Rocky movies, but he was like, oh, Creed 2 is really good. You're going to like it. Go watch it. That's partly why I watched it, because he said it was good.
Yeah.
So, but that's just generational, right? Like The Phantom Menace is my son's favorite Star Wars movie. And I want to hit him upside the head every time he says that.
Is it really?
I think it is. But he grew up on it.
That's his nostalgia,
right? So, I mean, Darth Maul and a double-bladed lightsaber was his jam, right?
So, but now look, we can sit here and pick on The Phantom Menace
all day. Yep, we can.
The story's not terrible.
No, the story's fine.
The execution,
the writing
bad.
and the directing is
Jar
terrible.
Binks was not a desirable character. The little kid, whatever. But the story's not bad. and it is about nostalgia.
Yeah.
Why we like Rocky 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 is because of nostalgia. Is what we grew up on. If you really watch Rocky 4 again, go back and watch Rocky 4 again.
I just watched it recently. It's still awesome. It holds up. It's awesome.
How many minutes? So let's call it a 100-minute movie.
You have this belief that you are so very good and we are so very bad.
So 120-minute movie. Let's call it 120 minutes. How many minutes of dialogue
in Rocky 4?
Yeah,
it's great. The dialogue's awesome.
It's like 10% dialogue. Everything else is montage. Is exercising, or it's punching a digital fucking speed bag, or climbing a mountain. Drago!
You got his kid giving him shit about how his head looks like a catcher's mitt.
Right. So, but
you got the birthday cake with the robot. Those minutes.
That's one of the best parts. Is Paulie's part in the beginning. But and Paulie listened to the Chipmunks. That's also a great epic part. But the amount of dialogue in that movie is minimal.
I don't know. There's plenty of dialogue.
But our recollection of that
Church's fried chicken commercial in there.
Sure. Our recollection of that movie is it's our childhood.
Yeah,
it's definitely one of the best Rocky movies because the fighting scenes were that great. So if you watch Creed and Creed 2, the fighting scenes, the choreography of those scenes, which is done by Sylvester Stallone, and the writing credits are all his too.
Yeah.
But that's what those Rocky movies are about. And Creed 2 are Rocky movies. And so, there's a little bit of coin.
I remember, that was one of the things I want to talk about, was comparing it to Rocky 4. And I think there are direct comparisons. So
Sure.
There's a scene in the main fight with Victor Drago. So, spoiler alert, for anybody that hasn't seen Creed 2, we're going to talk about
2 years.
key details of the movie. So, enjoy.
Yeah.
So, there's a scene in it where Donnie Creed, eventually cuts the eye of Victor Drago.
He's not a machine.
Much like Rocky did to Ivan Drago in Rocky 4. Except the weight of it is totally different. The way it was depicted in the movie, there's way less drama to it. In Rocky 4, first of all, at the time, you think there's no way he's going to come back and, there's no way he's going to win this fight. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And you hear the announcer yell, "He's cut! It's a bad cut!" And and it goes on to describe the drama of the situation. In Creed 2, it was like, and Victor Drago's got a cut above his eye now. And I waited for them to say, and it's a bad cut, and they didn't. And it was just like, okay, he cut his eye. Well, that happens in fucking boxing.
Well, but
if you don't set it up as a oh my god, it's cut and it's a bad cut.
But
then
if
it's like, all right, whatever.
If they had said that, then you'd have said, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're being so cheesy and copying the dialogue."
And
from
I'm not
the old
saying
movie.
they should have copied it, but you need to copy the drama of it, the weight of it. It didn't seem weighted at the time. It was just like, okay, he cut him, good for him.
Yeah,
it didn't seem
but also
all that daunting before.
And it's been a minute since I've seen the movie, but my recollection of the movie is that Victor Drago was not held up to be the dominant force that Ivan Drago was.
Right.
Ivan Drago was this,
kind of. Yeah.
I mean, he was literally thought to be potentially a machine.
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
Right. So you have this guy, and then you have Victor Drago, who was his dad wants him to be the second coming, but he has doubts. Right. Everybody has doubts about him, and because his father's been beat. Yeah. So now it's the veil's been a bit lifted from the Drago family. So I look. Right. That's fine. And I get it. It doesn't need to be a clone of Rocky 4. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there were all these examples of where it didn't have the dramatic weight of the other Rocky movies, not just 4. That's just one of the things that I like about it. Well, so let me tell you things I liked about them. Yeah. I remember when I love the fact that Stallone is he's slowly removing himself and transitioning the story from him and Adrian and Paulie to Adonis. Right. And that this movie, Creed 2, you saw more of I forget his wife's name or his girlfriend. She's
Bianca.
Deaf. She's deaf.
She's
right?
hard of hearing, has hearing aids.
Right.
Yes.
I think that this it shows this softer side that you, when you first see Adonis in the first movie, you think like he's just some street kid or whatever, and then you realize that he's got this soft spot like Rocky did.
Yeah.
Like when you first saw Rocky and Rocky, the first movie, 1978, whatever, you thought like, oh, he's just some dumb beluga, right? And then you realize like, oh, he likes this Adrian broad, and you realize he has a soft side. It's the same thing. There's all these parallels.
But see, I see the parallel, but I don't think they did as good a job. Like Rocky, Sylvester Stallone pulled it off. Like he convinced you that this guy who should be a thug, who's breaking people's thumbs for a living,
sure,
is a softie. That he does love this chick, and it's awkward, and he's uncomfortable, and he takes her to the ice skating rink after hours because he can't afford it on the
other benefit of Rocky, which was, not the benefit of it, but the other thing about Rocky, the original movies, is that a lot of that was unspoken. He was breaking thumbs.
Yeah.
Like you just assumed, like he he was a muscle. He was out. He was alone. He was a collector.
Yeah.
But it wasn't displayed that
right. They never showed it, but it was like, hey, I don't want to have to come back and break your thumbs. And you knew he literally didn't want to have to come back there and do it because that's not who he is.
He's a good person. Right.
And that's where I never felt like you didn't have that feeling with Michael B. Jordan. Apparently people think he's a great actor. I don't think so. I've seen him in
I had that feeling
other
with Michael B.
movies,
Jordan.
and I'm always like,
and I think
I don't see it.
It really kind of it kicked in. So Creed 1, I think it was a lot like Rocky, that I didn't believe that like this guy is for real. I didn't believe he was a good person. I thought he was kind of an asshole.
Right.
But then Creed 2, you're like, all right, it's just like Rocky 2. Fuck, dude, come on, how do you not see this shit?
Because I'm telling you, he doesn't have the believability of. He seems like a good guy. He seems like a loving guy.
How does he not?
I mean, they try in the movie, but he doesn't pull it off. He seems stone-faced most of the time.
No.
His emotion isn't there. He doesn't react to stuff the way you think he would. She's the same way, Bianca. I don't like her.
Really?
Adrian was the perfect female counterpart to Rocky.
My God.
She's kind of a bitch. Remember in Rocky 2 when Adrian is she's ill from the pregnancy and she's in a coma and Rocky's by her bedside. She finally wakes up and he can't train. He can't even think right because she's not right.
Because he loves her so much.
Right. And she finally wakes up and what does she tell him to go do?
Win. Just win, bitch.
Win. And then the bell rings.
Just win. Shot.
Win it, Ryan.
So he tells her to go win. Or she tells him to go win.
And the music kicks in. Bang. The bell tolls. Da, 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 right?
No.
But in this, Adonis is talking to Bianca. And there's the pressure. They got this new baby. And what if he gets killed? And what if, blah, blah, blah. And I forget exactly. I'm paraphrasing. I haven't seen it 100 times like I've seen the Rocky movies. But he says something to the effect of, I'm going to win. And she goes, you better win. And then it goes to the next scene of him training. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. You better win. You better not die.
But hold on.
How am I supposed to raise this baby on my own? Come on.
Wow. Hold on, brother. So let's go back to
what she's saying.
Let's go back to 1985. And how do you think people felt about Adrian?
They loved it.
Saying, you can't win.
Oh, I know. And that to me was huge. That was a huge moment in the Rocky franchise when Adrian, who's been by his side through everything, who supports him through everything.
Up.
And in the fourth movie, she says to him finally at the top of the stairs, you can't win.
Right.
He looks at her and just goes,
yeah.
Adrian,
then he drives a badass Ferrari
Adrian
like a motherfucker.
Always tells it like it is.
Yeah. That
and
bitch.
He gets in his Lamborghini.
Was it a Lamborghini or was it a Ferrari?
It's a Lamborghini.
You're a douche.
It's so great. I love that fucking movie. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you had that moment of all people, who's going to doubt his ability? It's his wife, Adrian, who's been there for everything. And then later in the movie, She shows up in the Soviet Union.
Right.
She's like, I'm with you no matter what. Even though she knows he might die, no matter what, I'm with you.
But
this bitch is like, you better win. Well, fuck you.
So hold on. Did Adrian? She was in Rocky 5. She was in the but then 6 she didn't make it.
No, she was already passed away from cancer.
Off, right.
And but it's okay.
But for all those out there wondering, Talia Shire's alive and well.
Right. She's still with us.
Yeah.
And
also,
are you okay?
If you want to see Talia Shire's best performances, go watch the Godfather trilogy.
Yeah,
she's much better in those. I mean, she's great.
She's great.
There's no doubt about it.
Now, I always felt like, and it's probably just the age I was at and all that stuff, but like I kind of thought she was hot in the Rocky movies. I mean, she was supposed to not be. She was supposed to be nerdy and like homely.
Well,
but like
first couple,
she's an attractive woman. Even later in Rocky 4, where she's just sort of there, she's kind of a hottie.
Yeah. See, I disagree.
No, she's not your thing.
No, I think that she's never done it for me. Yeah. But even I was too young for the Godfather movies when they came out. But I've never seen a movie. I've never seen Talia Shire as an attractive piece of ash.
I mean, you know, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. Is all I'm saying.
I'm good.
Okay, well, let's get back to Creed 2 and why it sucks.
Now, what's the deaf chick?
Yeah,
Tessa
Thompson.
That's a whole different. That's a whole different deal.
I mean,
she's a very attractive young lady.
She doesn't really do it for me. She's okay. She's
fine,
you,
man. Potato. You know,
she's okay. I don't have a problem with her, but I mean, I don't like go look at her and go, "Ooh, man, she's smoking hot."
No, same thing with Talia Shire. I got no problem, but also now she's 75.
Yeah. Now, okay. Here's another problem I have.
I think you might be a little weird
with the character in Creed 2.
Okay.
Bianca, who's clearly a take on Beyonce. She's a singer. She's a performer, right?
You're taking a leap there, but okay.
Okay, I feel like it's not much of a leap. But what happens first of all, the second fight, that's another thing, and I'm fine with it, but they kind of took from Rocky 3 with he loses once and then fights again later in the movie.
Well,
he lost to Clubber Lang and then fights him again, right? And that's fine.
Yep.
So in the second fight with Victor Drago, which took place in Russia, similar to Rocky 4, Bianca is there to sing this hip hop song to bring him out into the arena. And I'm like, that has a totally different vibe than this all by himself. The entire crowd is against you.
Sure.
You
look, man.
You walk in solidarity. Instead, it's like his wife's out there singing and dancing about how cool he is.
It's also
and pay some respect.
30
She's all
years,
ghetto with it, and I'm like,
30,
come on.
30 years,
right?
Difference.
I get it. Right.
30 years.
It's not the same time, and I'm not saying it needs to be the same movie. I'm just saying the things that had the impact in Rocky 4, that impact wasn't there. Instead, you've got, oh, look, his wife's with him. Oh, she's performing for him. Wow, he should be all kinds of confident in Russia. The crowd's against him. Nah, she's singing about how cool he is. She's giving that neck twist or whatever, where she's like, this my man, that kind of thing. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
All right, another shot.
This movie is not where I thought it was going to go. And then the fight itself, like the choreography, the boxing, it was much more realistic, right? Even the last Rocky Balboa was that way too.
Well, I think
the cameras they used were like HBO cameras
Stallone
that they use in fights.
If it's Stallone, if it's technology, it's the cameras, and it's also the post production where they could make a punch connect digitally.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just saying
you can. I think, but I also think
it has the look of a real fight as opposed to a movie fight.
So I'm telling you, man, if you watch,
which is fine.
I love boxing, but if you watch a Rocky movie, or even Raging Bull, and then you go watch a real fight, a boxing, not MMA.
Yeah,
you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah.
Unless it was Tyson. Tyson was a little different animal.
Right, I get it. But yeah, real boxing, Rocky is not real boxing.
No.
And that's fine. It's dramatized for movies.
Those fights would have been called way earlier.
For sure,
I mean, Rocky 4, well, number one, Apollo wouldn't have died. There's no way he would have fucking died.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was early enough in the fight that the ref might not have realized, I need to call this fight.
In real life, I don't think Apollo would have died.
Well, there's the scene with Rocky where Ivan Drago literally grabs him around the neck with one glove and then pounds him with the other one. I think it was after the bell even. It was like, okay, this would have stopped a long time ago.
That's illegal. He would have been...
To their credit, though, in this one, Victor Drago was disqualified for one of the things he did. So, I mean, that's kind of real, right?
So, I think
that's okay. I'm fine with that.
That's the evolution of Stallone. That
I
think he really appreciates the sport.
Yeah.
I think he appreciates the athleticism.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never been a boxer. I think he appreciates it.
I like to think
also
he did plenty of boxing while training for these movies. I mean, he had.
But also to get into the shape. That he was in, and especially in '85 for Rocky IV. That is I mean, look, there's not many people that have been in that great a shape. That physique, and I know there were steroids involved, and that's fine.
He was as cut and lean as it gets and ripped. I mean, it was just crazy.
Another Hollywood actor,
maybe
Schwarzenegger, maybe
Schwarzenegger. Yeah, but Schwarzenegger had the bulk,
right?
Stallone had the definition.
But Schwarzenegger was that ripped before he was an actor.
Yeah.
While he was an actor, I don't think he was ever that cut. But Stallone, I mean, look, that it's hard to compete with.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Rocky IV, whenever he shows up in Russia and takes that fucking role, it's like, God damn, that motherfucker.
Right.
There's not an ounce of body fat on that prick.
Yep.
You know?
It's impressive. Now, one of the things I didn't like about the movie overall was the dialogue, the script. And I was going to say, this is just millennials writing movies now. And then I looked at the credits and it said,
written by
Sylvester Stallone. Now, it did say written by Jules so-and-so Smith, whatever, and Sylvester Stallone. So I'm assuming whoever that other person was wrote the bulk of it, and he came in and tweaked some things and got a writing
maybe
credit.
He came up with the basic story and someone else came up.
When Adonis proposes to his fiance, her reply is, yo. And he's like, is that yo yes? And she's like, yeah, that's yes. And I'm like, come on. This is the fucking dialogue of a scene where he's proposing to his wife.
I feel like I need to watch it again. I don't recall it being
it's stupid. And Rocky even tells him, he's like, what did you say? And he's like, well, I took her to the zoo, and it was after hours, and I said, maybe you wouldn't mind marrying me so much. I don't know. And he even shrugs his shoulders like, I know it was dumb, but it had heart, right? And she's just like, yo. And I'm like, come on.
Well, but that's a callback.
I
maybe
guess
a cheap
to Rocky
callback.
Saying, hey, yo, Adrian.
Well,
maybe.
He's a yo.
I know.
The whole yo thing. But I mean, it's so fine.
It just seemed like, who fucking wrote this movie? There were so many instances of that where I was just like, really?
I feel like, well, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in the camp of the Rocky diehards that Stallone can do no wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like the majority of people
the training scene in the desert, which was obviously a polar opposite of the training scene in the winter and the snow.
Sure. I feel like this is one area where we can agree.
It didn't have that compelling.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as Siberia.
Right. I mean, at first, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is going to be cool.
Yeah.
There's going to be some badass desert shit going on. It was like, no,
but I feel
not really.
Like if you put yourself in the mind of your son 20 years from now and you watch that desert training scene, you'd be like, yeah, that motherfucker was badass, And the same way that we look at Rocky climbing that goddamn mountain and saying, Drago! Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, hey,
Drago!
Shot.
Yep.
Look, this is getting out of hand.
It's just getting out of hand.
It should be made clear. I don't have to work tomorrow.
So I'm just saying, it had all the elements. They just didn't execute it. They didn't pull it off the way they could have. And it could have been a great movie. I mean, you had Drago was there. Dolph Lundgren.
See, I think it was a great movie.
No, it wasn't.
That's the difference.
Now, I also didn't like the way I appreciated the direction they were going with it, but they didn't pull it off. His Drago's wife, right? The mom who left her kid and husband because he didn't
Brigitte
win.
Nielsen, right?
She made a cameo, appearance.
Yeah.
But she didn't say anything.
Well, she didn't say anything in the first fucking movie.
She didn't do much. She and it just was like, okay, that could have been so much more. All of it. That's my whole thing. It could have been so much more.
Here's the one thing that I found unbelievable about that movie is that Ivan Drago, who couldn't put together a sentence in 1985, somehow gained custody.
You will lose.
I have to watch the movie again to see how it all works out. But
his wife left him. There was no custody dispute.
Yeah, I feel like she'd have been more present. You know,
right?
I mean, Brigitte Nielsen clearly had her shit together way better than Dolph Lundgren.
Right, but that was unexplained too. It was like all of a sudden, this guy and his son in the Ukraine, who are just working their way up the boxing ladder, suddenly get invited to. We aren't even told whose house it is. This mansion with all these Russian oligarchs, I guess. We don't know who they are, but they seem to be important people. This fancy dinner and blah, blah, blah. And then Brigitte Nielsen walks out and kisses the guy whose house it is. And so she's presumably his mistress or wife or something, but nothing is explained. You see this look of shock on Dolph Lundgren's face of like, what? So he doesn't know that she's supposed to be there. How does he not know that she's the mistress or wife of this oligarch? Come on.
Jared.
Poorly written movie.
Calm down.
No.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
Wow.
You have to pick one movie. All right. Let me put it this way.
It's tough.
Not a comedy.
Right.
I'll say an action movie.
I feel like an action movie. Okay.
Well, I mean that's a broad range.
It is broad. Okay. I have a movie in mind. I don't know if this qualifies.
Fucking say it.
7.
What? That's an action movie.
Well, I just said I don't know if it
crime
qualifies.
Drama.
All right. So action movie. Okay. My favorite action movie, Predator. It's fucking great.
It's a good movie.
It's
but
great.
I'm thinking I was expecting you. Die Hard's good.
Yeah.
But it's also a bit of crime. But I was thinking you would go with like you love Star Wars. You love your superhero movies.
Yeah, I don't
right?
think of those as action movies. But
what the fuck?
It's adventure movies.
What?
Action is
Jesus Christ.
Action is Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. Guys just blowing shit. That's action movies.
People of the universe.
Okay. I guarantee you everyone will agree with me whether or not Star Wars is an action movie or not.
You don't think it is?
No. Do you think there's a difference in genre between Star Wars and Predator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's a difference in genre between Back to the Future and Die Hard? Die Hard is an action movie. Back to the Future isn't.
Well, no.
Predator is an action movie. Star Wars isn't. There is action that takes place in Star Wars. It's not an action movie.
We're at the crux of our issue here.
See?
Is that
you don't know what movies are called?
No. I think that you're trying to find too fine of a funnel to fit everything into.
Okay.
So hold on.
All right.
So Star Wars is not action.
Well, okay. What I think of action movies is like one star, the badass. He's generally muscular and ripped. There's lots of explosions. There's yeah. Am I alone here, people? Write in. Load this podcast at gmail.com.
I need more co-hosts.
I feel like I'm not even off base a little bit here.
No, I don't.
Action movie is
I don't know anymore.
And if you go to the Next Generation, then you had like Nicolas Cage was in the what was the movie where he was on a plane? Con Air, and
good movie. That's
Face Off.
Is that an action movie?
Yes, those are action movies.
Sure. Yeah.
But like,
so
Star Wars is not an action movie. It's a sci-fi adventure. You've got multiple heroes.
What is Predator?
Action, for sure. Action movie. You got a bunch of muscular dudes blowing shit up. That's action. With some comedy.
What's Back to the Future?
Adventure.
Not sci-fi.
I mean, there's
no action.
There's some time traveling going on. There's not blowing shit up except for
I
the
think
little
buckets are too small.
What? No.
I think you're dropping like, well, this is where this movie belongs.
Guarantee you, if you Google top action movies of the 80s, Back to the Future and Star Wars will not be on that list.
Oh, no.
I'm going to do it right now.
Star Wars, I think, why wouldn't that?
I'm doing it right now.
Well, people Star Wars wouldn't be the 80s, but Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back would be.
Action. Oops.
Yeah, I think you've got
80s.
too small of buckets, man. Top action movies of these.
Okay, now this is just the movies that are across the top kind of bar on Google. We got Terminator, yes. Die Hard, yes. RoboCop, yes. First Blood, yes. Predator, yes. Commando. The first one that I would dispute is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
What? That's not an action movie?
It's not action. It's adventure. It's adventure. And then you got Aliens, which, okay, maybe.
People of Earth, please help me.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is not in the same genre as Commando and Predator. You've got romance. You've got humor. You've got adventure. You've got nostalgia because it takes place in the 40s or maybe the 30s. Right. It's not the same.
What about?
Come on.
What about the Avengers movies? What about the Marvel movies?
That's its own thing. That's just comic book movies.
Now, a whole new category for that shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Look at this. None of these movies are like Star Wars. You got Lethal Weapon, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Big Trouble in Little China, which I can't imagine many of our listeners have ever seen that. Escape from New York.
They're all old fuckers like
Top
us.
Top Gun.
Who
guess
else
that's
is listening to us other than old fuckers that might have seen
Corey's
Big Trouble
listening.
Yeah. Well, he's a little younger than us, but he probably has seen Big Trouble in Little China. But there's people that are older than us that slightly.
You know what's not on this list? Star Wars and Back to the Future.
Where do they fall in?
They're okay. Top. I'm going to type adventure.
Okay, I can't wait to see this. Top adventure movies:
Goonies, Raiders, Princess Bride, Back to the Future, Empire Strikes Back, Indiana Jones,
Jesus Christ,
Conan the Barbarian. That's an action movie.
All right, stop talking, Jared.
See,
stop
Return
talking.
of the Jedi.
So basically, what we're dealing with here is Jared is a Google machine. We have
Jared knows his shit. Is what the issue is.
No, you basically boiled down your opinions to what Google tells you.
Ryan puts Back to the Future and Terminator in the same category.
Yes.
No, that's your problem. You're wrong.
Well, they're actually
about your whole perception on life.
I think Terminator and Back to the Future, but they're both adventure movies. They're both both time travel movies.
The question is for both of us. Where does Rocky fall into this? What category is Rocky?
It's a drama. It's a drama.
It is a drama.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I think your buckets, your pools of movies are too.
Basically, everything I said before we Googled the list was accurate to what we found when you Googling the list.
Google said so.
Google knows. I'm going to get a t-shirt in quotes that says Google knows. All right. So, God bless it. We are 40 minutes into this half-loaded episode, and we are
wait for. I got a
3 shots in on the fireball.
Might be 4 before this is over. What time are we? Plenty of time.
40 something.
I can't wait for people to weigh in on this topic.
You know why Ryan can't wait for people to weigh in? Because he thinks he's right. And he thinks everyone's going to weigh in on his behalf.
Yeah, no, look, when it comes to
movies, reality, everyone's going to go, Jared's right on this one.
There are a few topics that I lack confidence on. There's things that I like, and there's things that, whatever,
Yeah.
So when it comes to movies, I don't have the recollection that a lot of people do. Like you and Joe used to talk about movies and you would be able to recall.
It depends on the movie.
Right.
I can quote Rocky IV like nobody else.
Well, sure, me too. But like other movies that
like Blade Runner, no idea. I couldn't quote one line from Blade Runner.
Movies like 1 or 2 times and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't have that.
No.
So when it comes to movies, I don't have the recollection and the but I have my own opinion.
Sure.
And,
And opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
Very true. Very true.
But
and some are
I feel like my asshole's right and your asshole's wrong.
Some of those assholes are very wrong. And, I don't know.
Now, okay. Regardless, I will say Creed 1 and Creed 2, whether or not I think they're great movies, I'm glad that they brought back the Rocky franchise.
Yeah.
I'm glad I can see those red, white, and blue trunks.
Yeah. I think it's great that
and Stallone again.
I think it's great
with this rubber ball. It's awesome, right?
I think it's great that Stallone is doing what he does, and I give him all the credit in the world for keeping. And then we didn't talk about the latest Rambo movie, which I have not seen. Oh, it's a great movie.
I know. I need to see it. It's not great, but I feel like I need to see it anyway.
It's not great. It's a good movie. It's formulaic Rambo.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You don't expect any more than that when you go see it. Don't see it in the theater. Wait for it to come out on Hulu or whatever. It's a fine movie. It's entertaining. I love Sylvester Stallone, so it doesn't take much to excite me. If Rambo or Rocky is on any TBS, TNT, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna watch it.
What the F was that?
I mean, what the fuck was it?
There was a big loud noise. It sounded like someone rolled a table across our floor upstairs. I have no idea what that was.
Well, let's go take care of that.
It's about time to wrap this up anyway. Okay, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Rocky movie? Keep in mind, he loses in Rocky 1. I feel like that's a point of controversy for some people.
So I don't think it matters if he loses or not.
I know. I'm just saying some people think that's a problem. He wins in Rocky 2, but you do also have all that shit of him like trying to be in commercials and stuff. It sounds really dumb. Rocky 3. That's
more commercialization. That's
definitely. He's the man. He's already like pimped out in Rocky 3. But you've got the loss of Mickey. He loses.
You've got the Apollo introductions of Apollo and
you got
the Eye of the Tiger and
Rocky 4.
Much better
you
soundtrack.
Got East versus West. The soundtrack is the shit.
The simple answer is that because of my age, because I was 10 years old when Rocky 4 came out, that's the logical solution. But in my wisdom of rewatching all of these movies, I think Rocky 1's great.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, it's the groundwork that everything is built on. But Rocky 2 I think it's the best movie. I really do.
So I will say
Rocky 4 is probably a close second.
For a long time.
And then 1, then 3, then probably 6, then 5, and then Creed 1 and Creed 2. Now, my son would argue that Creed 1 and 2 are at the top of that list.
Well, your son is a fucking moron. No, that's okay.
Yeah.
So I will say, again, because of my age and when it came out and all that, Rocky 4, right? That was the best.
Yeah.
But for a while there, I kind of conceded that Rocky 2 was the best. But after watching it again recently a few times, as much as I appreciate that he finally accomplished his goal, he beat Apollo Creed, he won the championship, all that, right? I can't get over all the other shit, the commercials and making him seem so dumb and like buying his house and all this stuff. It was like, we're going to try really hard to make Rocky seem like an idiot and then he'll win the championship. I appreciate more now Rocky 1 where he didn't win, but he did. He didn't win the championship, but he won in our hearts. He won in his heart.
That's the beauty of the Rocky movies is that you can close a movie on a loss, but it's still a victory. It's a moral victory.
That being said, I tear up every time I hear Sylvester Stallone yell out, "Yo, Adrian!
Yeah.
I did it!"
Yeah.
And you see Adrian at home watching on TV because she was still sick. She couldn't go to this event. And she's like, "I love you." And you just hear the fucking emotion. I fucking can't help but cry.
You guys,
That's Rocky
out
2.
There have no idea how awkward this is. Him reenacting this,
especially because Ryan has a giant heart on right now.
Oh yeah, it's enormous.
But that being said, all that Rocky 1, Rocky 2, which is better? For me personally, it's Rocky 4. Between the national pride and the emotion of East versus West, Soviet
Cold
Union,
War bullshit,
Cold War. You've got the fucking amazing soundtrack.
Yeah. But
you've got Rocky in his prime.
It's a great movie.
Steroids like no one else.
It is about 85% montage. I mean, it's a great movie. I love it. It's part of my childhood, and I will defend it till
we're not indestructible
till the cows come home. But it's 85% montage.
Yeah,
Rocky 1, 2, and 3 have more dialogue and have more meaningful.
And how many movies have you watched that had the Soviet Union national anthem?
That's right. Hey, note to self,
right?
No more Fireball for Jared.
What's the other movie that's prominent that has that?
Red Dawn.
No.
Shit.
The Hunt for Red October.
No shit.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Well,
it's great. Honestly, I love our country. I'm as American as anybody.
He loves the Russian
Soviet national anthem is fucking incredible. And anybody Champagne, you know what I'm talking about.
It's
great.
Predator alert.
I mean, like the Canadian national anthem is dumb.
Hey.
Oh, Canada.
That's a great song.
Dun, dun, dun,
it's a great song. Now, you only listen to the first fucking 3 words. It's a great fucking anthem.
It's fine. It's no American national anthem.
I think it's actually better.
Ooh.
And I love America.
It's no Soviet national anthem.
But our anthem is about like one fight. You know, like, oh, Canada, our home and native land, you know. Yeah. So, hey.
Soviets, where it's at.
Yeah. Might want to watch out for Jared.
Yeah. This has nothing to do with my clearance. I am a American national.
Yeah.
Tried and true.
What's that fucking guy's name? The
Fireball is a mistake. let's just put that out there.
What's that guy's name that the movie was made out of?
Snowden.
Yeah. I'll just call you Ed.
Ed Jared.
How much does Ed Jared know?
I just know Rocky IV has some amazing music. One of which is the Russian national anthem.
It's not. No. Look, the best song is when
Hearts on Fire.
True. It's right up there. It's top 3.
Training montage.
But with the song that the robot sings to Paulie.
Right.
That's top. That's
what
top
is
3.
The song? God bless it. It's
Happy Birthday, Paulie.
Happy Birthday, Paulie.
Yeah, that's it.
But there's a song that's on the CD soundtrack that's not in the movie.
What it tells you, what that movie tells you, is how fucking desperate Paulie was.
Oh my god,
Paulie was fucking a robot.
But he reprogrammed it to have a female voice instead of a male voice.
I wonder where that robot's
vagina
was. It had a male
voice to begin with.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, you got a vagina? How about you start talking like a bitch?" And she's like, "All right, Paulie, whatever you want."
So I'm watching The Last Man on Earth on Hulu. And there's a scene where this woman, her lover dies, and she finds this CPR doll and dresses up the doll to look like her husband or her lover. And this guy catches her making out with the CPR doll. And she says, she's all embarrassed. She's like, I know. She's like, truth be told, I dressed up the doll to look like, what's his name?
Mm-hmm.
I've done some things, and we probably need a new CPR doll. It's like, hell yeah, you do. All right. We are 51 minutes in,
and a half
including outtakes. Ryan just poured me a 4th shot.
Oh, shit. We got to go on a high note, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're listening still, you know we should not drink Fireball at least more than once.
No, it's all good, man.
But before we go off the air, we're going to drink this, but we want to thank you for listening. Technically, now I know you're not listening to this until Sunday.
He's got the hiccups like a motherfucker. Is he going to be all right?
I'm fine.
He might explode.
I'm fine. Technically,
sure?
It's still November.
This is bad broadcasting.
Pre-Thanksgiving. We are thankful for Fireball.
What?
We're thankful for people who buy us Fireball.
Sure.
And we are thankful for Sylvester Stallone.
Sure.
Don't laugh.
Yeah.
You are.
Well, what's most amazing is that about 5 seconds ago, you were as pink as your hat.
What?
You were about to die. I'm pretty sure I was about to get the defibrillators out.
What's amazing is I have to go to work in 6 hours.
Sure.
And this guy's going to be fucking sleeping.
I got to
go
pick up a kid from the airport. It's all good,
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey, fuck you guys. Fuck all you people. No, we love you. And subscribe. Hey, load this podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Load this podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
See?
And get a load of this podcast on YouTube. Yep. So shoot us a message. Tell us how you feel about our drunken stupidity. Hopefully it's not this way regularly. But, sometimes...
Is Ryan right that Creed and Creed 2 are great movies?
Yes,
or is Jared right that Creed 2 kind of sucks?
Yeah.
And let us know.
How about this? A much more broad question. Is Ryan right? Is Jared right? In general.
I feel like that's an easy answer.
Yeah, I do too.
Jared.
I do too. Yeah.
Ryan's going to post some pictures of himself on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that'll solidify that Jared is always right.
Look, once you see me in my Rocky onesie.
God bless it. I want to see that so bad.
There's
onesie?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
is this like a wrestling onesie or like a baby onesie?
No, it's basically
is there a graphic on the front?
Oh yeah.
Right. Are there snaps?
It's yes.
Yeah.
It's shoulders to toes pajamas.
God damn it! I want to see this.
It's unbelievable. It's one of my favorite.
How have you not worn this to my house? Come on.
Well, come on. I don't go out like that. I wear that for the benefit of my wife. I mean, she's a big Rocky fan.
Okay.
So I put this
Rocky
on
onesie.
and I stand on a milk crate in the living room. I'm like, Yo, Adrian! And she's like, and she just melts. And she just falls into bed, and I'm like, all right,
let's do this.
That's not at all what happened. But oh my God! But hey, a boy can dream.
You just hold on, little lady. You just hold on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's drink this shot before we go off the air.
There's few truths in this podcast. One truth is I do own a Rocky onesie.
I mean, I can't wait.
Cheers. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, fuckers.
Happy Thanksgiving. Ryan just did the Heil Hitler thing or something.
Oh, cut it off, motherfucker. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
shut this shit down.
Shut it down now. What's that from? Ghostbusters. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, this went off the rails. Thank you for listening.
What? We're still doing this?
Thank you for putting up with this shit. These half-loaded episodes that were supposed to be half an hour are now an hour long. So we thank you for listening. And happy belated Thanksgiving. Until next time, I'm Jared.
Is he still talking?
I'm trying to wrap it up here. Once again, I'm Jared.
He's still talking.
Oh my God. Trying here, people. Yes.
Good.
You, sir, over there.
Good night.
And this is half loaded.
Thirsty.
It's a good night. So you're off tomorrow, right?
I am. Maybe that's the name for the next podcast. Just Thirsty.
It's not bad.
By the way, I listened to one of our recent episodes. I'm trying to catch up because I don't listen to them as much as I should.
Yeah.
And I when I hit play on my phone, frequently I have it on media on my car.
Mm-hmm.
on my truck, and so I hit play, and I'm like, where's the sound? What the fuck, right? So then I turn up the fucking stereo, and so it's at like 21, right? I'm like, I still got nothing. So then I have to grab my phone and turn the volume up on it, and it's very satisfying that whenever it kind of fades into that, and I'm like, motherfucker, that is some goddamn good theme music, man. Fuck, man.
Yeah, it's rewarding. It's satisfying.
Really, look, if there's one thing about this podcast, we got some kick-ass fucking music, man.
Right.
And I feel like we might need to take that music to the next level.
I've thought
we might need to build upon it.
Yep.
And come up with some lyrics.
I don't know about lyrics.
Why not?
I feel like that's the third phase. We need to just like
more music,
add a little more guitar, maybe, and some bass or something. Yeah.
I mean, I'm up for whatever. I can't play a goddamn thing. I can make up some bullshit lyrics
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And made me think of another thing that not Paul McCartney, Billy Joel. So again, we talked about Sirius and on the last one. So there's a Billy Joel channel, and one of the promos, and I've heard this interview with him before. He said it before that he claims that he's always come up with the music first and the lyrics second. Now, who am I to say he's lying? But if you listen to some of his songs, it's like, really? I mean, seriously, you're telling me that you came up with that music?
Can you give me an example?
We didn't start the fire.
Oh yeah. See, I believe that for sure.
You believe he came up with the music before the lyrics?
Yeah.
So he just laying there like,
I want to write an up tempo song, a rock. This one's really rocking. We're gonna get,
but I feel like the lyrics are so much a part of the music that's impossible.
It's evolved, I'm sure, but I mean, you're talking just basic chords. We're gonna go from G to F and then D. And then back to G.
Here's another one. Scenes from an Italian restaurant. It starts off very bottle of white, bottle of red.
Yeah.
So it starts off with this, melodic, interlude, right? But it's very much a romantic, slow song that relies on the lyrics. Then it folds into Brenda and Eddie were the popular studies in the King and Queen of Prom. So how do you write that music without having Brenda and Eddie were the popular studies of the King? I just find it hard to believe. I'm not calling him a liar.
Maybe he means, but I'm questioning. Maybe he includes the melody. Like he might be, and he's a piano player. So guys, on a lot of other artists whose band isn't a piano including instrument, they write on a piano,
right,
and then they transfer it to guitar or something.
Yeah.
But so he's just tinkering on piano all the time. But maybe he's going da 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 da.
I can see that.
That's music, but not lyrics, right? So even though that's the melody, he goes, I wrote that first, and then, I don't know.
Anyway.
I mean,
I love Billy Joel.
Yeah.
I think he's extremely...
Fuck Billy Joel. Fuck Bill.
No, I think he's... Yeah, fuck that Bill.
Yeah.
But not Billy Joel. I think he's an extremely talented person.
He sounds like kind of an asshole,
he does,
right? I don't want to think that, but I think
love
he
him,
is.
and I've loved him for my whole life. I mean, since I was a little kid... I've been enamored by Billy Joel, and then I saw. I think the first crack, like crack in the armor was he was on American Chopper, which the motorcycle show.
Yeah.
He had commissioned them to build a motorcycle for him, and he had made it very clear. He's like, "Yeah, I want you to build a motorcycle," but he just wanted a custom chopper.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like. And I think they asked him like,
"Don't put piano keys on it." Yeah,
don't put pianos on.
Right.
I don't want. No,
I do remember
I'm
that.
I'm not the piano man when you're building this motorcycle.
And they did it. No, I don't know.
Well, they made a gimmick.
Yeah,
they made like they took a scooter and they put like a fucking Casio keyboard just to fuck with them.
Right.
And they pulled this cover off of it, just being a joke because that's what they did back when they were funny. The first 3 or 4 seasons.
Right.
And they pulled this cover off it, and Billy Joel was not amused, and he just didn't take the joke, and I was like. Oh, okay. Billy Joel's a douchebag.
Yeah,
and it seemed like all right. That sucks because I want him to be a good person and just be able to take a joke, but he was just being kind of a dick.
Yeah, I've seen a couple things over the years that really just made him seem like an asshole. And
Howard Stern interview was another one that I saw that I heard where he was kind of the same way. Howard kept asking him to like so hey man, can you? And they brought a baby grand into the studio, and hey, can you play this? And Billy's like, oh no, I can't. That's too high. I can't do that. It's too early for me to do that. It's like, well, God damn it, man, you're a professional musician. Right. You don't make excuses that I can't sing. Yeah. Uptown Girl because which is high. But I can't say
7 o'clock in the morning. Come on,
change the fucking key, man.
Anybody who sings knows when they wake up in the morning, the voice sounds like this. Hey, well, sure. But I always want to sing bassy songs in the morning.
But change the key, man.
Hey, ain't that simple?
Sure,
change
it is.
The key.
If you're Billy fucking Joel,
come on.
It's
come
not
on. That easy.
It is that easy. And as a matter of fact, he did. On a couple songs, change the keys. Like, well, I'll try, and he brought it down. But it was like a constant, run of excuses. Like, just Billy, sing the fucking song. Look, you get paid to do one thing. Yeah, sing the fucking song. Shut the fuck up and sing.
Shut the fuck up and do what we want.
Yeah.
All right, let's start this.
Well, hold on.
Well, it's an outtake.
We're gonna drink this shot right now.
Shit.
This is how
I
it's gonna go.
wish this was on video. Fireball. Yeah. You got the box out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is so good. I think we had a little ASMR shit. I know you dig that stuff, but I think I got a full gullet.
All right, let's start this.